Ladies and gentlemen, my name is VTech. Let's get into a discussion today about the EW Warehouse. Mullins, you are a bit newer to the scene of TEW, I would say.
Yeah.
So you don't know what EW Warehouse is, pray tell, do you?
Oh no, I actually that's one of the first places that I learned of
Really? Well,
in my little bit of time. I actually learned about that before I learned about the Grey Dog
sorry.
forums.
Yeah. And that's usually the first thing when you pop up. When you type in TW mods, that's the first thing that pops up usually. You don't usually see the forums, but the EW Warehouse is something that's died recently, and people have been trying to give something else to bring light to it. I know that there's this thing called EW Battlegrounds, I believe, but I didn't really hear much about it. And then Gennady, of course, who I've had on for TWN Talk, has told me a bit about his let me put the link real quick, the Home of Professional Wrestling, which is also linked to the Wrestling Nexus forum, which is where they'll have some mods going on. For the most part, it's been a little bit more quiet, because the layout, I think, is a very important structure of why EW Warehouse was very successful in its prime time. And I think hopefully if people see this and they say that it's really needed, we can bring it back. Because let me tell you this. Alright, let's move my microphone a little bit closer. The ewwarehouse.info.com gave light to a lot of mods through 2005, 2008, 2010, 2013, 2016. It did have a revival when 2016 came out with a revamped look, but it kind of just got shut down. I don't know if there was problems with the hosting or what, but hopefully people see this and hear why we should really, find EW Warehouse on Facebook. I really don't know of many other ways to really contact them besides the Facebook route, because they have a Facebook page. They have Twitter, I believe, and maybe they have like a subreddit or something. But specifically, let's talk about the EW Warehouse and why it was helping out the community in a way that people don't really notice and appreciate much, as I have my horrible dogs in the background as usual. So say for instance you're a 2013 player, you want to find 2014, like with us, we want to find January, which is, when Punk was on his way out of WWE, and we want to rebook that. We could just go on there and boom, it's on there. With the forums, something that I despise so much about the Grey Dog forums, I like the forums, don't get me wrong. What I despise is they delete. Like, they'll hide the post. Alright? So you can't see any post after a certain amount of time, because if the post doesn't have enough hype, you just won't see it. For instance, this will have everything laid out, and what I really appreciate about the EW Warehouse is that it gave tutorials to people. I didn't think it was really hard to install mods and stuff of that nature for TW, but I always had videos out to give tutorials about tips and tricks, stuff of that nature, even booking tips. But I think the EW Warehouse should have been the all go-to place, one-stop shop, needless to say, to get your fix, in terms of if you're looking for that 2015 2014 mod by various people, not just Fleisch, who is the monopoly man right now. Right, Fleisch without a doubt is the monopoly man of modern day databases.
He is.
Gennady and the mod squad have their stuff going on. Don't get me wrong with mildly amusing, I like that they have a bigger grasp of the indie scene, but I think Fleisch has it jam-packed where everything just works.
He gives you all kinds of extra stuff. Like, he gives you the storylines. He gives you
a lot more to work with in terms of like number crunching and the ability for it to just work.
Because like with a company like that, if you want to run WWE, you have to have certain number of storylines that are above a C. And what he does is he gives you those storylines that already have the heat on them.
Exactly. So I think there's.
So it's not like, oh shit, you're gonna lose a ton of viewers because and popularity immediately.
So what I'm saying is with the EW Warehouse, we should really look into getting somebody to, or at least get in talks of generating hype for it to come back, because I'm gonna be honest, when we look at all these older links, people were sending them through stuff like SendSpace. So SendSpace links delete after a while. However, with the EW warehouse, most of them were through Mediafire. Mediafire kind of lasts forever.
Stays there forever.
Unless the person actually deletes.
It's not like most sites.
Yeah, unless the person actually deletes the link, it's there forever. And that's kind of a thing of when my computer broke down. I had all these databases that I just lost, and now I can't get them back. And there's all these cuts that I just lost and can't get them back. And I did have a master file that I uploaded to Mediafire, but it's still like out of date in terms of I didn't have the databases. All I had was just the cuts. But why I really like the EW Warehouse is that it was the backup plan. All right, the Grey Dog forums. It's very, very hard to get around to in my terms if you're not a forum guy. EW Warehouse was a website to traverse easily. It was like, you know, what game do I have? 2005? You know, the freeware game. Click on that. If I wanted a 2015 mod, click right there, and it's there. All right, there's tons of mods for that. And I think without the EW Warehouse now, we're kind of stuck in that tricky spot of we might lose mods. And I don't think people understand that if we lose mods, we could lose people to the community, and we could lose hype. This is a game, when 2016 came out, it should have been the game for people to be like, heck yeah. Like, so what were you going to say?
TEW without mods, unfortunately, is not a very good game.
Sadly, I'm going to say that too. But I thought 2016 would have been the game to, alright, we're going to get a whole bunch of people to see this game and want to play it and stuff like that. For the most part, I believe it's successful. I'm going to shoot real quick. It's mostly like a lot of people who think that they're going to go and try to be bookers when they can't. But that's the thing of there will be people who can help you to learn how to book better and how to have fun with the game, because it's how you play with it. I've always said that. It's how you interpret it with your own group of buddies, or if you play it alone and try to book out a scenario. But there's people that book for the wrong reasons in terms of YouTube booking and stuff like that. And I've always been kind of more of an advocate to push the envelope, of course, when it comes to being controversial with the game and getting stuff mainstreamed and highlighted. Because, you know, I think it should be on Steam. I think it should be on there. It should be on that bigger platform. I think that it should be more out to wrestling fans, because we're in such a mark period of professional wrestling. Marks would love this, like straight up. Like any professional wrestling mark would love to.
That's all, I know. Anytime I mention,
shoot, your microphone's dying.
I know what it is. It's like a great game.
Your microphone's dying, by the way.
Are you there?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it was like cutting out and dying and whatnot. All I heard was it was a great game, but.
Well, yeah. Every time I mention TEW to any like fan of any fan of wrestling and whatnot,
yeah,
they're always like, "Oh, that sounds like such a great game."
Exactly. But to go back on track with EW Warehouse, if someone who found the game wanted to go back in time to play a certain scenario, because let's be real, all right, as much as we all love the Attitude Era, WWF versus WCW, you want to go back in time to 1985 and like rebook the stars like Shawn Michaels when they're first joining. We're in that awkward period where from 2004 to pretty much up until like 2015 we got nothing, because 2004 we got the Ruthless Aggression Era. That's really it. It's hard to find 2005, 2006 is near. I don't think, like, I can't name a single 2006 mod out of my head. 2007, nothing. 2008, nothing. 2009, nothing. Yeah, like 2010, maybe some stuff. 2011, I can't think of anything. 2012, I can name the summer. After Punk, Like it literally was called the Summer After Punk, and I think, you know, it'll be good when the Mod Squad gives that limelight to the Summer of Punk, but I think there's still a lot more mods that are missing that the EW Warehouse fulfilled that, because even if they weren't 100% working in terms of having that giant array, it was good for what most people wanted it for: TNA, WWE, ROH, sometimes New Japan, stuff of that nature. Mainly it's those big three that people want to change around to see, alright, what if, even though TNA is going through this period, what if we can get them to a bigger stage than WWE, despite going back to the four-sided ring, Hogan and stuff like that going on, or ROH, and see how they deal with, you know, losing people, or WWE, just see how they could rebook, and Santino Marella wins the Royal Rumble instead. But yeah, hopefully someone sees this and is like, hey, EW Warehouse, we need to bring it back. So that's just my gist of things. Hope you're all having a great day, and I'll hear from you all next time. Adios.